Ayahuasca is the feminine energy, they say. It's the feminine plant, and it's sort of the spiritual world. Then you have San Pedro, and San Pedro is also spiritual, but it's a grounding force, and that's the masculine energy. Some call it the mother and the father, the grandfather and the mother, whatever they call it. And what that does is it gives you that yin-yang effect, and it completely annihilates, and I mean that, instantly, all of the blockages that we have when we're in our life, when we're sitting around trying to change who we are while not changing our surroundings, not changing the habits that we have every single day. You know, I have 10 minutes to read, then I got to go do this. Well, when you escape from society, you go to South America and you're eating only food grown right there in front of you, and you're in ancient surroundings, there's nothing that connects you to this world. So you can really, really let go, dive deep, and literally go through a mindset shift or an attitude shift or whatever you want to call it in 10 days. It would take you years in the civilian world. Sorry, in the normal world, not civilian world, in the normal world.
The normal world. Yes, yes, yes. The air quotes are definitely needed for that one. Oh, goodness. I love this idea of the business retreat. Honestly, I've got to see if I can get myself a slot on here. It sounds so cool, and especially from a historical aspect too. Me personally, I'm interested in the origins, and I'm interested in where all of these ancients, wound up finding their last bastions. So this is very cool from a whole totally different perspective of going out there and just being an adventurer and being able to find yourself in the adventure.
And if you can imagine, you can literally sit in the throne of the ex of the old Incan king. And it's not even a state park. It's literally just ruins in the middle of the wilderness where we have the compound. It's crazy. It's like there's maybe 10 tourists you'll see there, but that's it. It's not built up and roped off, and it's not at all. Only the Temple of the Moon is roped off. But besides that, nothing else is roped off. The Temple of the Frog, the San Pedro Frog, the Pachamama Birth Canal. There's so much out there to see. You would absolutely, lose yourself out there, especially when you're walking with Luis, the Quechua, one of the Quechua tribe members. He's walking around, like, oh, my stomach hurts, and he'll just go off and come back with a bunch of plants. So here, eat these. You make your stomach's fine. You're like, whoa, that was a trip. Yeah. Or if you have trouble breathing because of the thin air, they give you some plants and say, here, smell these plants, and suddenly you feel better. It's amazing, man. It's amazing.
Goodness.
Yeah.
We've got to get that's one of those things where it's like the knowledge of that it needs to be out there. Other people need to know that this exists. We need to grow these things. It's just as simple as having it in your, backyard garden kind of.
It puts you in your place too, because you're walking around, you're walking through the wilderness, and you're tramping on plants and everything. They don't mean anything to us. And he's like, wait, stop. And he picks this one plant. We're like, oh, so we're going to tramp on that. And that's how useful that is suddenly. And before it was just a blade of grass under my boot. It just blows your mind.
Amen. That is so cool. So, folks, you have a better understanding of Stephen Kuhn with QOLenterprises.com. That's Quality of Life Enterprises. You have a better understanding of him from a backstory and where he's going with his mission and who he's focused on helping. And you can go and get the book, Humble Alpha, right now at QOLenterprises.com. Go ahead, make sure that you pick it up. Stephen Kuhn, connect with him on LinkedIn. Honestly, it's been great communicating with you, networking. I think what's excellent about this is that if people are trying diligently, if people are putting in the effort, you're willing to give them the time of day. And
Amen.
that's the biggest thing, right? Because it's not a handout, it's a leg up kind of a deal. How can we help others? Because I man alive, I struggle with this huge. I didn't want to ask people for help, right?
Yep.
You feel as though, oh, I'm a weakling and other stuff. No, you're trying very hard in the areas that you're going. Hey, I've done this, this, and this. I could really use some assistance with X, Y, and Z. Stephen Kuhn, go check him out and talk with him. Now, all right, in closing, yes, do you have any sage rounds for us, comments, anything?
Well, I always say lead with value, right? And lead with value means giving first. Everyone says, oh, you got to give back. Giving back sort of indicates that you've taken something. So I like saying, just lead with value. And that creates, that plays into the law of reciprocity, that when you give what you have, you receive what you don't have back. And my life's a living testament to that. And the one key thing that I'd like to give everybody out there is if you want to change your life right now, today, forever, and gain an ease of life and gain an ease of thought, just one rule, and that is absolutely annihilate any expectation you have of anything, any part of your life, anywhere, unless you verbalize it. So either you tell them what you want and what you're expecting, or you don't have an expectation. And when you have no expectations, suddenly you're free. And I mean, if you do this hardcore, you're going to sit there and go, my mind's empty. Because you're not thinking anymore about what the wife thinks, the son, the mother-in-law, the boss. I mean, you know how it is. You get called into the boss's office or the commander's office. You're like, oh man, what does he want? What did I do? All of that falls away, all of it, because you have no expectations. And we also know that thoughts are not, I mean, we don't worry about things that happen. We worry about the thoughts that we have. Our thoughts make us worry. We're creating stories in our life that haven't even happened yet, and we're all worried and stressed out about something that isn't even real. So when you have no expectations and just drop those thoughts, boom, your life changes.